This Fleet Equipment Unscripted interview is presented by Hendrickson, a leading manufacturer of heavy-duty suspension systems and components to the global commercial transportation industry. Visit hendrickson-intl.com to learn more.
Hey everyone, Jason Morgan, Content Director for Fleet Equipment. Welcome to Fleet Equipment Unscripted. We are off script again today because I had the opportunity recently to attend Geotab Connect. This is the annual conference for the telematics provider. Now, I say annual, but the last time they did this was January 2020, just before the pandemic. I think it was like one of my last trips even before the world shut down. So now it is back for the first time since we're all getting back out on the road. Had a wonderful opportunity to reconnect with Neil Cawse, the CEO of Geotab, to talk about a couple of trends that came up during his keynote. We're talking analytics and data for benchmarking. We're talking OEM integrations. We're talking sustainability. So here are his thoughts on those topics. Enjoy.
Hey Neil, great to see you. Congrats on the event, big event here. You made the benchmarking announcement, and I know this is something that you've been talking about for a long time. We talked, I think it was back in 2018, about benchmarking and what it could mean to fleets. You're going to have benchmarking on the safety focused dashboard. What do you see? How do you see fleets using this? If I'm benchmarking my fleet with safety, how can I put that in action then once I see where I stack up?
That's a good question. So yeah, we did talk about it a long time ago, 2018, where the focus was to say, if we can evaluate all the best fleets in the world, first of all, we can pick out what is the role of that vehicle. So you can't benchmark unless you say, well, this is a long haul vehicle, this is a vehicle that does hub and spoke delivery, whatever it is. So you identify that first, then you find the best fleets in the world in terms of things like idling, safety, fuel consumption, picking the right vehicles for the right job. And then you can, as you say, compare yourself against the fleets. But that's really step one. The next step that we're implementing in the product right now is to actually bring you insights where you can say, not only will we show you where you fit, but we'll tell you what you need to do next. What rule you need to enable, what safety program you need to put in place, what vehicle you need to change out for what other vehicle in the software itself. So become your intelligent AI that pops up and tells you what you need to do.
Right.
So that's really what we're doing.
Right, very cool. Another big theme here that you had at your keynote this morning too, OEM integrations, and I know we've talked a lot about this too. How do you see that landscape shaking out right now with Geotab, working with OEMs, and what would you like to see from fleet customers to help those conversations and integrations along?
Yeah, so I mean, we're seeing an interesting world here where OEMs are really starting to get into the telematics world and provide some of the data that we need in order to give the insights that fleets need. But it is a journey, right? Because there's inconsistency sometimes in the OEM space where not all the data's there, it's not all the right quality of data. So we're working very closely with the OEMs to really try and up that quality and get the data to where it needs to be. I think right now, from a fleet perspective, the stuff that you need to weigh up is you need to say, listen, I've got a very, very zero install. I can just activate it and I can use the OEM telematics.
Right.
Or on the other hand, I have a Geotab device, I need to pay an upfront cost for that. You know, the ultimate price is the same whether I go one or the other. And you have to look at whether for that particular make and model, you've got the right data.
Right.
And the beauty is that you have an option. There's
right. Choice
here, which is what we want to see, right? We want to say, this is not working for you, or it's too expensive, I want to go to this option.
Right.
And really, I think that's what fleet managers can know, that choice will give them the ability to have some leverage and to make the right choices for their fleet.
Right, we've talked about that a couple times too, and how you're really gathering your data from the Go device, right? It allows you to see, you know how that device works, you know how it operates, you know the fidelity of data you're getting there, and that can be, let's say, inconsistent coming from other sources, or it's just different, just in the way that many makes and models are just different in the way they go about things as well. So making sure that it's apples to apples from my fleet point of view, the data is able to deliver solutions.
That's right. The key point is that, you know, for example, we do that ESR rating where we look for failures in your electrical system.
Right.
We sample very high frequency the battery voltage curves at crank, and the OEMs don't do that because they didn't think that was important. So
right.
You will find the OEMs start implementing these extra data sets
right.
that will then enable just the same functionality in my Geotab. So over the next 5 years, you'll see a progression as we move towards that world where the OEMs kind of catch up.
Right. Lastly, sustainability, big talking point here, big talking point across the industry. What role do you see data playing in helping to decarbonize and drive down emissions going forward?
Look, I think that it really needs to be driven around data. If we just follow the mantra that says, listen, we need to be more sustainable, just go and change a bunch of vehicles, it's going to end up in failure because you're going to select the wrong types of vehicles, and it's not going to work the way you need it to work. So
Right.
you start with data and you say, all right, what vehicles are good for me to electrify and which ones are frankly not?
Right.
And I need to leave those alone. I need to focus on the ones that are good, and I need to leave the ones that are not. In addition, data will help you run your electrical fleets better, but also even run your regular fleets better. Because we can be more sustainable by just optimizing idling, optimizing
Right.
the routing, using the right vehicle for the right job. Did I need to have that big van to transport those couple of boxes?
Right.
If I can be smart about how I use it. And so
Right.
I think the future is really driven around data. You cannot manage what you don't measure is kind of our motto. And so I think that's the future here.
Right. Okay. Hey, great catching up with you. I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.